Cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. Got something super exciting we're doing today. I'm brewing my first ever small batch all grain beer. It's gonna be an American Pale Ale. Okay. We're gonna do 1.5 pounds of pale US 2-row malt and 1/2 pound of caramel crystal malt 10. It's already been mixed thanks to the brew shop here in OKC. I know that the caramel crystal malt 10, 1/2 pound, is quite a bit for a 2-pound grain bill, but it's gonna fit the style. Should be very good. We're going for a 1054 original gravity, and we're only gonna mash for 30 minutes, and I'll tell you here in a second how we're gonna do that, kind of in a unique way. Okay, Dr. Hans, I don't know if some of you know Dr. Hans on YouTube. He did an experiment a while back, seeing how good of conversion you get in a mash, 90 minutes versus 60 minutes versus only mashing for 30 minutes. Okay, so he split a batch 3 ways. The 90 minute came out to 1073, the 60 minute came out to 1072, and the 30 minute came out to 1068. So he lost 5 points between 90 minutes and 30 minutes, but he only lost 4 points between 60 and 30. I can handle losing 4 points. So we're just gonna mash for 30 minutes in the oven. The lowest the oven can go is 170 degrees. So I'm gonna preheat it to 170. When it's time to mash, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the heat, and then just put my boil kettle with my steeping grains in there, and we're just gonna mash that way. I'm gonna start my strike water at 155 degrees. I was reading a little bit earlier, in the 155 to 158 Fahrenheit range, sugars will be produced that are harder for the yeast to ferment, resulting in a fuller bodied beer. Okay, so I definitely want to mash, you know, anywhere between 152 and 160, but I figure if I started out at 155, then surely the temp won't climb that much in a 170 degree oven over 30 minutes, especially because the oven will be off and that temp will be dropping in there as well. So we're just gonna kind of go for it, play it by ear, and see how this first one turns out, and then we can tweak it next time if we need to. Okay, so going for approximately 1.25 quarts per pound grist ratio. It may be closer to 1.5 quarts a pound. My only fear is that 1.5 quarts wouldn't be enough to fully submerge these grains. I might have to use 2 quarts of water. That won't be a big deal. Again, we're just gonna take a stab at it today, and I think it'll turn out really, really great. Okay, so I'm using Cascade hops, only 6 grams. I'm gonna do a 60-minute boil, 6 grams at 60 minutes. I'm gonna add 1 ounce of maltodextrin to enhance the body, the mouth feel, head retention. I'm gonna add that at 60 minutes as well, and then I'm not gonna do anything else until flame out. And then I'll whirlpool 6 more grams of Cascade at that point, and we shall ferment with an old favorite, the US-05. Okay, that's the plan, and I'm sticking to it unless something changes, and then we'll play it by ear. So let's heat our strike water up to 155 degrees, and then we'll dough in our malt. Cheers. Okay, so I've got 3 quarts of water in here. Put it on a low flame right now. Slowly heat that up. And I got a big muslin bag, so hopefully after I put all these grains in, I can make it thin enough where I can fully submerge them all. So let's go ahead and get that in there while the water gets up to, what I say, 155. These things are nice and stretchy, so. Smells like someone's burning trash. Reminds me of my childhood. I want to get all those grains or we're leaving sugars behind. Don't want to do that. I think that'll be nice. We'll tie it off very loosely at one end. Get this water up to 155 degrees, and then we'll go in and mash. Okay, we're up to 157. I'll kill the heat, and that'll give us some time. We'll get the grains in. Man, this is a lot easier than a 5-gallon batch. We'll see if it turns out as good. Okay, let's get our malt in there. And this muslin bag stretches enough to where we can submerge all of those grains. Hopefully none are clumping together in there. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. Got my Sparge water here up to 170. Let's see where our temp ended up on the mash. So for the first 15 minutes, I forgot to turn the oven off. So it was on at 170 for about 15 minutes. I hope it didn't heat this up too much. We'll find out. 158. Guess I'll leave it on for 15 minutes next time too. 158. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna pour my 170 degree Sparge water through these grains to rinse them out, and I'm just gonna bring it up to the 2-gallon mark because I'm gonna get about a gallon boil off over the span of an hour. Okay, so we'll just Sparge up to 2 gallons. They always tell you not to squeeze the grains, but I have a buddy who swears he just squeezes the bag to get all that out of there. So I'm not gonna do that, but we will rinse. Here we go, up to 2 gallons. trying to get as thorough a sparge as possible. Trying to get around the edges. I'm trying to rinse out every bit that I can. And it looks like we hit that 2 gallons almost exactly. For the dock, I am just going to give it a nice little... It's not what we wanted to do, but... Let this drain a minute. Okay. Oh, it's perfect. No, it's perfect.
Did you burn yourself?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay. Let's bring this baby up to a boil. And I have my regulator marked over here. I know exactly where to put my flame to maintain a consistent boil off. So the first time I did it, I timed it. In a 1 hour boil, I lost 1 gallon. Okay. And that was with the flame exactly where it's at now. So I just went ahead and marked my regulator so I know exactly, so I don't get more or less boil off this time. And we've reached a boil. So we're gonna add our 6 grams of Cascade. And our ounce of maltodextrin. And I am going to leave the boil kettle uncovered. Some people say you get that cream corn taste or whatever it is. Sometimes if you don't, if you leave your boil kettle covered while you boil. Never had that happen. Then again, I usually leave it uncovered. Make sure those hops stay down in there. It kind of boiled up on me a little bit when I added them. So now I just gotta wash them back down in there. So now we wait. Man, that mash went really good, I thought. What did I say? We came out at 158 degrees. I think that's just awesome. We'll see how our conversion is at the end. We'll see what our target is 1054. Okay, so hopefully we get close to that. So really all I have to do now in the next hour is drink a beer and weigh out 6 more grams of Cascade hops. And the cool thing about a 1 gallon brew day, there's relatively no cleanup. So maybe while this is boiling, maybe I'll get the cleanup that there is to do. Maybe I'll get most of that done. And then once we bang this thing in the bucket at the end, that'll be it. I would say if only every brew day could be this easy, but I think you may be looking at a new man. I think this may be the new normal around here. 1 gallon batches, make a bunch of them. I might need some more little 1 gallon fermenter buckets. I mean, I could use the glass jugs. The buckets are easier to clean, but I don't know. Probably get a couple more of those buckets. And then of course when I go to bottle them, I'll rack it off into the bottling bucket and that'll make it easier to use my bottler. Not a bad day when all you have to do is sit out here and watch wort boil. So I wanted to make it easier on myself. That's why I did this little 1 gallon batch, but I also wanted to show you guys who may have never done all grain or never brewed a beer to begin with, that you can make an all grain beer really, really easily with just a few things. Okay, I might have my foot in my mouth here in a couple weeks if the beer sucks. I doubt it will, but if it does, there's some things we can tweak and make it better. But I think it'll turn out really good. I have a lot of hope for it. So yeah, I guess this is me for the next hour. I'm gonna start cleaning a little bit. I'm gonna weigh out my next hop addition, the 6 grams of Cascade. And by the way, the Cascade hops I found today were 7.2% alpha acid, if you want to create the same recipe. Cheers, everybody. If you're leaning, you're cleaning. Flame out around here. So weird hearing the sound of my own voice. I've just been watching this boil and staring off into space for about an hour. It feels like 4 hours, not in a bad way. Okay, we're gonna add the 6 grams of Cascade to Whirlpool. Okay, we're just gonna let them sit in there for 5 minutes. And that'll give me time to go make up the ice bath so we can go ahead and get this thing cooled down so we can pitch our yeast. Okay, our goal here is just to get this down to about 75 degrees as quickly as possible. Okay, so I got this chilled down to 69 degrees. Ready to pitch our yeast. Let's get it in the bucket. I've already got my gallon marked, so we'll see how accurate that gallon boil off was. Okay, not bad. It's close. Maybe got a little bit more boil off than expected. Let's pitch the yeast real quick and then we'll talk numbers. I'm really interested to see how close we were to that 1054. Of course, we're not gonna need all of the yeast. Probably only like, what was it? 5 grams, probably less than that. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I would personally rather overpitch than underpitch. It's just how I live my life. Lid on the bucket. No, we don't need to stir it around or anything. Just pour it in there. All right. That's all there is to it. 1 gallon batch. Let me go throw this in the back bathroom and then I'll come out and read the hydrometer and see what kind of conversion we got with that 30-minute oven mash. So our target was 1054. We hit 1046 even after all of that boil off. So I didn't quite get the conversion that I hoped for. It's 8 points low. Maybe next time we'll just mash longer, and we'll maybe even do the same recipe and mash a little bit longer, and then see if we can get that 1046 up a few more points. But the range for a pale ale is 1045 to 1060. We hit 1046, so it's still gonna be a pale ale, okay? And we took a shot at a pale ale, and we got a pale ale. We'll see how it tastes, that's the main thing. Thanks for brewing along today. Hope you got something out of it, even if it was just a little hangout sesh. It's always nice, drink a few beers. Cheers, everybody. I'll keep you updated on this. We'll talk on 24 Ounce Tuesday about the fermentation, how it's going, and then here in a week and a half, 2 weeks, we'll get her in bottles and then see how it tastes a few weeks after that. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for brewing along today. And we'll see you on Tuesday for 24 Ounce Tuesday. Peace.